When you look in the mirror, who do you see? Do you see the man you always thought that you'd be? Or do you see a guy who's just surviving, not thriving?
Welcome to the Strong Dad Show with your host, Adam Lloyd. Together, we are stronger.
Welcome back to the Strong Dad Show. I'm your host, Adam Lloyd, and I want to start today by asking you a question, a real question. When you look in the mirror, when you look past the tired eyes, when you look past the fact that you haven't had a decent haircut in 6 months, who do you see? Do you see the man you always thought that you'd be? Or do you see a guy who's just surviving, not thriving? A guy who's given up pieces of himself one by one, day after day, in the name of just being a good dad. Because society has sold us a lie, a quiet, insidious lie that to be a great father, you must sacrifice the man that you are. That your own happiness, your own strength, your own peace of mind are luxuries you can no longer afford. That you're supposed to be depleted, watered down version of yourself, a watered down version of the man that you wanted to be. And I'm here to tell you that that's absolute, unequivocal bullshit. And in fact, I'm going to go a step further. The greatest gift that you can give your family is not a man who has sacrificed himself on the altar of fatherhood. It's a man who's mastered himself, a man who is overflowing with strength, with energy, with purpose, that it spills over and nourishes everyone around him. This is what we call the strong dad mindset. And this is what this show today is all about. Now, let's be honest. Fatherhood is the biggest blessing in the universe. It's a privilege. It's an honor. But that doesn't mean it's easy. It isn't. It is a crucible. It will test you in ways you never imagined, and it will break you down. The question we have is, what grows back in its place? What grows back in its place when your former self has been broken down to rebuild the father that you want to be? Because for too many of us, what grows back is a man riddled with guilt. Guilt for wanting to go to the gym. Guilt for wanting to spend an hour on a Saturday morning reading a book instead of playing with Legos. Guilt for wanting to have a conversation with your partner that isn't about nappies or sleep schedules. On one hand, we're being told to man up, but on the other hand, we're also being told to be soft. We're told to be providers, but not to be ambitious. We're told to be protectors, but not to be dangerous. It's a tightrope walk over, quite frankly, what is a canyon of confusion. And what's the result? It's a generation of fathers who are physically and mentally exhausted, overweight, anxious, and running on fumes. We are living for some distant future where we'll finally have time for ourselves. We're sacrificing our happiness now in the hopes of pleasing everyone around us, hoping that we'll have time in the future to spend for ourselves. But what if I told you that's the most selfish thing you could do? Think about it. Who does your child need? Does your child need a dad who is present but not really there? A dad who is physically in the room but mentally a million miles away, stressed out about work, worried about money, and sort of resentful over his own life? Or do they need a dad who is fully, unapologetically alive and energized? A dad who has his own passions, his own strength, his own fire. A dad who leads by example, showing them what it means to be a person of integrity, of discipline, and of purpose. The strong dad mindset is about a fundamental shift in perspective. It's about understanding that taking care of yourself is taking care of your family. It's not selfish, but we see it as foundational. When you build a stronger body, you have more energy to get down on the floor and play. When you build a stronger mind, you have more patience to handle a toddler's tantrums. When you build a stronger spirit, you have more resilience to weather the storms of life, which, brother, I promise you are coming. This isn't about being a perfect, emotionless robot. This isn't about being a drill sergeant. This is about being a pillar, a rock, the calm in the storm, the man your family can rely on, not because you say the right things, but because you are the right thing. So how do we do all this? How do we cultivate this mindset? It starts with one simple, outrageous idea. You come first. I know this sounds heretical. It goes against everything we've been taught, but hear me out just for a second. I'm not talking about neglecting your family. I'm not talking about being a deadbeat dad. I'm talking about a strategic reordering of your priorities. For just the next week, I want you to try something. I want you to schedule 1 hour just for you, non-negotiable. Put it in the calendar like it's the most important meeting of your life, because it is. Maybe in this hour you go to the gym. Maybe you go for a walk in the woods. Maybe you sit in your car and listen to an album from your youth. I don't care what it is, but it has to be for you. No guilt, no apologies. And when that little voice in your head starts whispering, you should be at home, you're being selfish, I want you to tell it to shut the hell up, because you are not just doing this for you. You are doing it for them, for your family, for your children, for your ability as a high-performing dad. You're refilling your cup so you have something to pour from. You're rebuilding your foundation so you can be the rock that they need. You are choosing to live for the now, to find your own happiness, so you can bring that joy and energy back into your home. Now, this is just the first step. The first step of many. Because we don't want this show to be about quick fixes or motivational fluff. We want it to be about fundamental rewiring of what it means to be a man and a father in the modern world. It's about questioning the norms. It's about challenging the status quo and giving you the tools to build a life of purpose and meaning. This whole process is going to be uncomfortable. It's going to seem outrageous for some of your closest people, but it's also going to be the most rewarding journey you will ever take. So I ask you again, when you look in the mirror, who do you want to see? The man you want to see. Let's build that man together, because together we are stronger. So I thank you for tuning into this episode of The Strong Dad Show. If this episode resonated with you, please do me a favor. Share it with one other dad who needs to hear it. And remember, the strongest thing that you can be is the man that you were meant to be. Until next time.